Edward Teach, aka Blackbeard, the most famous pirate of all time. A frightening and intimidating figure of a man who wore a leather belt with 6 pistols and a sword in front. He had a long black beard, thus the nickname. He twisted his beard into tails and weaved hemp fuses throughout. He would ignite those fuses, causing smoke to encircle his head, giving him the appearance of being the devil. Sailors on ships would see him and think he was Satan himself. They became scared and would surrender. With a treacherous reputation, he terrorized the East Coast and the Caribbean. He captured many ships such as the famous Adventure, but his greatest capture of all was the French slave ship La Concorde. The crew was sick as well as the enslaved. After cannonballs blew through the ship, they put up no fight. Blackbeard took on any enslaved who wanted to become a pirate and gave the rest back to the captain to be sold. He renamed the ship Queen Anne's Revenge and outfitted it with 40 cannons. It became the perfect pirate ship. Teach was a bold and brazen man. He actually blockaded the city of Charleston. He stopped any ship trying to come in or leave. Blackbeard plundered the ship and took prisoners. He sent word back to South Carolina Governor Robert Johnson, demanding that they give them medical supplies. Amongst the supplies that were found later was a syringe of mercury that was thought to cure syphilis. He said if he did not get what he wanted, he would kill the prisoners and send back their heads. Johnson agreed to the request. Blackbeard sent a party of pirates to retrieve the supplies. They partied it up like all good pirates and became drunk. Blackbeard then sent another group to get the supplies. After receiving what he wanted, he let the prisoners go, but not after taking their fine clothes, leaving them almost naked. He then left for North Carolina to rest the crew and make repairs. Whether by accident or on purpose, the Queen Anne's Revenge ran aground and began to break apart. They had to abandon the ship. The wreck has been discovered and many artifacts have been removed. Teach really liked his women. Blackbeard actually had 14 wives, 13 of which were thought to be common law. His only legal wife was his last. While at Bath, he met and married a 16-year-old plantation owner's daughter named Mary Orman. Many today believe she was actually 14. Governor Eden resided over the wedding. The pirate Stede Bonnet was taken advantage of by Edward Teach. Bonnet was a gentleman and not experienced with pirating or sailing. His crew had little respect for him. He purchased his own pirate ship. All this led Blackbeard to con him into taking over Bonnet's ship. Bonnet seemed to be loyal to Blackbeard. However, after the shipwreck, Queen Anne's Revenge, he convinced Bonnet to go ask for a pardon with him in North Carolina. Governor Charles Eden was giving out pardons and they both wanted to get one. Stede Bonnet agreed. While Bonnet stayed in Bath, Blackbeard robbed him of all his loot and supplies and headed off to Ocracoke Island. Virginia Governor Alexander Spotswood was sick of Blackbeard's plundering. He was not happy with Governor Eden either because he did nothing to stop Blackbeard. He was probably in on the take. He put a bounty on Blackbeard's head and ordered Lieutenant Robert Maynard to hire a couple of ships to go out and get him. Maynard acquired 2 ships, Ranger and Jane. He found out that Blackbeard was on Ocracoke Island and waited for his opportunity. The morning of November 22nd, 1718 was cloudy. Blackbeard and his men had been up drinking all night and were probably sleeping. Someone noticed the 2 ships a few hundred yards away. They took the Adventure and went out to go confront Maynard. Maynard yelled to them to surrender. Blackbeard replied, "You cowardly puppies! I give and take no quarter." He loaded the cannons with small balls, nails, and pieces of metal. The cannons then unloaded on Ranger and Jane. He did great damage and killed 20 of Maynard's 57 men. Maynard ordered his men below deck. Blackbeard brought the Adventure next to Jane, threw grappling hooks, and tied them together. The pirates threw grenades onto Jane. They boarded the ship believing that most were dead. Maynard then ordered his men to come from below. Blackbeard and the pirates knew immediately they were outnumbered. Blackbeard and Maynard began to fight. Maynard fired a pistol into Blackbeard's chest. It did no good as Blackbeard kept on fighting. Blackbeard was so strong that he broke Maynard's sword in half. Maynard got another pistol and fired at Blackbeard, but he just kept on fighting. The deck was now becoming slippery from all the blood and seawater. Soldiers came over to Maynard's aid. One sailor slashed Blackbeard in the face, but he kept fighting. More came to his aid, and Blackbeard was overwhelmed. Edward Teach then lay dead on the deck. He had been shot 5 times and had 20 cuts on his body. The pirates, seeing this, then surrendered. Maynard took his prisoners and ordered Blackbeard's head cut from his body and hung from the bowsprit of the Jane. His body was thrown into the water, and legend has it swam around the boat 3 times. They had to wait while repairs were made to the ship, but after arriving in Virginia, Maynard gave the head of Blackbeard to Governor Spotswood. He had the head put on a pole at the entrance of the Chesapeake Bay as a warning to others. The pirates were placed in the jail at Williamsburg. 4 were ex-slaves. After the trial, 2 were released. Samuel Odell was released because he wasn't a pirate, he was just visiting. And Israel Hands, who was a villain in Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. Blackbeard's skull later disappeared and ended up in the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg. The owner had it lined with silver and dared patrons to drink from it. Blackbeard's skull is now housed at the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. Blackbeard is as much a celebrity today as he was back then. He truly is the rock star of all pirates. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this one.